ACU football team is back home for one last cat fight. I'm Hannah Knoll.
And I'm Grant Boone. We'll preview today's game between the Wildcats of Abilene Christian and the Bearcats of Sam Houston State. It's the Adam Dorrel Show right now. Welcome to Week 10 of the Adam Dorrel Show from the campus of Abilene Christian University. I'm Grant Boone alongside the head coach of the ACU football Wildcats, Adam Dorrel. Hannah Knoll will join us in just a bit. ACU closes out its home schedule at this historic first season of Wildcat Stadium this afternoon, 2 o'clock, against the defending Southland Conference champions from Sam Houston State. Coach, what are you going to remember about this inaugural first season?
There's a lot of things. I think obviously the stadium, the crowd, just the atmosphere. Getting to know a lot of new people at ACU, and there's a lot of really good people here, obviously, and just some really good players. So there's a lot of things.
We put so much into that first game, Houston Baptist. It's hard to believe that the finale's already here. Isn't
I know it does. It seems like that was just yesterday, and you know, what a great night, what a great day, and it does. It went fast.
Well, a chance to maybe send them out on a high note. Final game, of course, at home means senior day, and you only had a few months with these guys, these seniors. What stands out about this?
You know, it's a good group. It's a group of guys that once we got through, you know, those first couple of months and really sat down with them and started talking to them, just getting to know them. It was hard the first few months. You just didn't have time to get to know them, and so for me, spring ball was a lot of fun. I'll remember that. I mean, that was the time where that was the first time I really had time to walk and talk with the guys, whether it's stretch lines or after practice, you know, hey, where you from, family, what are you majoring in, stuff like that. So they've been a good group, and they've worked hard, and you know, they've done what we've asked them to do.
This would be quite a way to go out, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Knocking off the defending conference champs, who still, by the way, have a chance to win the league. We'll preview that game against Sam Houston State in just a bit, but when we return, highlights and the coach's analysis from a nail-biter last week in Louisiana. Stay with us. This is the Adam Dorrel Show. Welcome back to the Adam Dorrel Show. ACU and Northwestern State win overtime on a Louisiana Saturday night. From ACU's Optimist Network, here's Jonathan Rates with the highlights.
In a game that featured a combined 11 field goal attempts, the Wildcats outgained Northwestern State by 127 yards under the command of redshirt freshman Luke Anthony in his first career start. But the Wildcats could not convert late to earn their third win of the season. Senior place kicker Nick Grau got the scoring going with a 28-yard field goal after the drive stalled deep in Demons territory. The Demons responded with 10 points of their own to gain the lead before the end of the first quarter. Chris Jones gave Northwestern State a 7-3 lead on a 3-yard run, and Eric Piccioni extended it to 10-3 with a 43-yard field goal. It was his first of 4 conversions on the day. In the second quarter, it was the Wildcats who regained the lead. Anthony found senior Carl Whitley from 6 yards out to cap a 4-play 50-yard drive for ACU and tie the game at 10. The touchdown pass was Anthony's 5th of the season, but his first coming in the first half. Anthony dazzled in his first career start, going 29 for 45 with 345 yards. Anthony added to his impressive day on the next drive with a 34-yard pass to Whitley in the right corner of the end zone to give ACU a 17-10 lead with 9 minutes left in the half. Whitley finished the day with 68 yards receiving and was on the receiving end of both of Anthony's touchdowns. Northwestern State cut into the lead late in the second with another Piccioni field goal, this time from 45 yards to bring the score to 17-13 heading into halftime. On the opening drive of the second half, the Demons took advantage of a good field position, and after a big run by Jones, Caleb Fletcher capped off the drive from 14 yards out and took back the lead for Northwestern State at 20-17. The Wildcat offense continued to move the ball, but once again it stalled in Northwestern State territory. Grau rebounded from missing a 53-yarder to close the first half, though, and converted a 30-yarder to tie the game at 20. After the defense held, ACU took over at midfield and wasted no time moving down the field. A 30-yard pass to fullback Trevor Crane took the ball into the red zone. This added to an impressive day of receiving for Crane. He led the game with 93 yards. Senior Cade Munden then rushed for 14 yards to set up the Wildcats with first and goal at the 1, but the Northwestern State defense held and forced another Grau field goal. This one a chip shot from 19 yards to give ACU a 23-20 lead. Piccioni would later tie the game at 23, matching Grau with his third field goal of the day, another 40-plus yarder. After ACU could not convert on 44 and 48-yard field goal attempts on its next two drives, the teams headed to overtime, each for the first time this year. The Demons started with the ball but could not get a first down against the ACU defense. Fortunately, Piccioni continued his impressive day and finished a perfect 4 for 4 with a 39-yarder to put NSU ahead 26-23. On the second play of ACU's possession, Whitley took an Anthony pass into the end zone, but a penalty brought the ball back to the 32-yard line, and the Wildcats were eventually forced into a 34-yard attempt. After missing 2 in the fourth quarter from 40-plus, Grau pushed the field goal wide right, and the Demons snuck away with the 26-23 victory. The loss drops ACU to 2-7 and leaves them with the top two teams in the conference on its schedule in Sam Houston State and Central Arkansas.
Okay, Jonathan, thanks. Tough end to a really hard-fought game. Coach, let's start with the big move, Luke Anthony starting at quarterback. What did you expect from Luke going in based on what you'd seen in practice?
You know, I expected him to play really well. I really did. I told our coaching staff Thursday after practice, I thought he had a really good week. I thought he had been diligent in his preparation. He had done a really good job of giving feedback with the receivers, talking to the receivers, spending extra time with them. And he felt really good about the protections and what we were doing with the check system. So, when a guy practices good, they usually play good. And so that's been a theme for us this year, trying to get across to everybody. But he certainly did, played really well and did a lot of really good things.
Well, you get the ball to start the game, and you get an early 3rd and long. He converts, hits Troy Grant, and then he marches you down the field, Coach. 13 plays, 64 yards. You got a 3-0 lead right out of the chute. I thought he looked poised. What did you think?
Yes, I did. That's the thing for a freshman. I know he's a redshirt freshman, but he's still a freshman. To be that confident in the pocket. A lot of times with freshman quarterbacks, in my experience, they want to do well, but they almost have their feet are so happy they're getting out of the pocket or getting off their first read. He didn't do that. He went through his check down, went through his progression, and did a great job of not standing in there. He really got going late in the first quarter, really comfortable in the pocket and not holding the ball too long. So good to see.
It was good. It was 3-0, and then they get a touchdown, and then Luke gets strip sacked. And in fact, it's a play that I saw a lot on Sunday in the NFL. It's a quarterback who's a right-handed quarterback getting hit. It's not as technically as blindside.
Right.
I don't know if he ever saw the guy.
No.
Is that always on the quarterback? Is it always on the line? Is it a combination of things?
Yeah, it's a combination. The protection, it wasn't terrible. The tackle did get beat a little bit around the end, but he was fighting and pushing, and he did a pretty good job. Luke did what he was supposed to do, stepped up in the pocket too. He was trying to extend the play. It's one of those things where I don't look at that like that's a stupid turnover. That's more on the defense making a great play.
They're on scholarship too.
Yeah,
from what we
it was
understand.
a very good play.
Made a good play, and their all-conference linebacker Peyton Guidry fell on it. But your defense holds, Coach,
Yes.
and you
Huge,
force them
huge.
only to a field goal. It's 10-3, and then after an ACU punt, here comes Northwestern State. They're up 10-3. They got the ball near midfield, and Jack Gibbons, your freshman, picks the pass off. I know maybe the numbers to people who haven't watched him play this year might not jump off the page. I think he's had a solid year. How would you characterize Jack's year?
I would say, in my opinion, better than solid. And why I say that is because he's very mature for his age. He's doing great off the field and in the classroom. And he's really shown some leadership characteristics that we hope continue to develop. And, I know we have big plans for him because he's one of those guys that's a program guy and always trying to get better. And he's a guy that's very apparent, cares about teammates and ACU in a short time.
From a good program,
Yes.
Smithson Valley down there
Yes.
in the hill country near San Antonio. By the way, not a bad guy to tutor under, number 34, Sam Denmark,
Yes.
who was also a major contributor as a freshman. Okay, so you get the ball back. You get a Tracy James 36-yard run. This is the 5th time he's had a run of 20 or more yards. He sets you up, and then Luke Anthony hits Carl Whitley, a touchdown. Then you get the ball back, and you score again. It's 17-10, and things are really looking good. And Luke, again, he's moving. He's doing everything you could ask of a guy.
Yes, he is. He's again, he wasn't trying to do too much. I was really excited about how I felt like the team rallied around him, the O-line and the receivers. And they had a really good week of practice together with, like, the deep ball that Carl caught for a touchdown. That didn't surprise me because we'd hit that a couple times that week in practice. And
here's what struck me, though. That came on 3rd and
Yep.
3. You
Yep.
could have checked it down, gone short.
Yep.
That showed me that you had the full playbook is open for Luke, wasn't
it is, and we're, we opt that motto to, play to win, especially when you're having a tough time like we are right now. So we did that again today, or this week in practice. Was one of those things, we were talking about it, and like, hey, you can't be wrong as long as you complete it. So it's one of those deals that as long as you're completing them, you're in great shape.
It was impressive. So it's 17-13 at halftime, thanks in large part to a late 4th and goal stand by your team. Northwestern State stopped on the 2-yard line. Second half, some lead changes, and then suddenly the Trevor Crane show.
Yeah.
3 straight possessions, he catches a ball for a big gainer, 30, 28, 35. It makes me wonder, what kind of year could he have had he not gotten hurt right in that first week of the season?
He's really crafty. To me, a tight end, if they're going to run those seam routes in between the tackles, they have to be crafty and be able to avoid contact by linebackers and safeties. And
otherwise, he gets plugged up.
Yeah, they get
right?
plugged in there, and the quarterback can't sit around and wait on him. And so, it was great to see him. And when you dial up big plays like that, or what you think are going to be big plays you've been setting up all game, when you hit them, man, it's awesome. It's cool.
How about 9 catches for 186 yards in his last 3 games? He's become not just an option, he's a weapon for you now. Okay, early 4th quarter, it's 20-20. You get down to the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. They stop you. I thought the corner made a nice play on Troy in the first pass to him, back shoulder throw, looked like a good throw, and he knocks it out of his hands. Then you get stuffed on a couple of quarterback sneaks.
Yeah.
I thought that you made the prudent play. You got to take the points. 2020. Was there a thought of going for it?
No, not at that time. There wasn't. The thought. I was really disappointed in myself with the back-to-back quarterback sneaks. I was saying to do that, and you go back and look at it and seeing how they were in the A gaps. That's something I wish I had back. But no, I wanted to take the points at that time, and you look back. We had so many opportunities that's what was frustrating at the end of the day.
Okay, 23-23, under 3 minutes to go. You've got a freshman quarterback making his first start on the road, on your own 27. Not exactly great field position, but you ask your freshman to go out and make some plays, and he did. What were you and Josh Lambers and the offensive coordinator thinking? What was the game plan? Was it try to get in position for a field goal? Was it score a touchdown? What was the game plan?
Honestly, we were going down to try to score a touchdown, with everything that had been going on. And we had a few plays that we had been saving that we felt like we had set up, some different route combinations, and we utilized those to get down there. Again, we missed an opportunity on on 2nd down where we were running a post wheel, and I know Luke wishes he would have that one back. A little bit of slippage on the protection late, but I was proud of our guys because they competed, they played to win, and I don't feel like we held anything back. And there was no question in my mind we were going down to try to score.
Nick Grau missed a field goal at the end of the game. You go to overtime, they make a field goal, then you get what looks like a touchdown, gets called back because of an offensive pass interference call. You can't comment on that, I understand. It's a pretty good throw and a heck of a catch.
Very good throw.
So you then set up a field goal, Nick misses it. The Hollywood script for a 5th-year senior who's about to become your all-time leader in field goals is he makes it to win the game.
Yeah.
It stands out, the misses, but it's never about one guy, is it?
No, never. No way. It's the kicking position is one of those positions that, man, a lot of times people don't notice them unless they have a bad day. And so, no, you go back and you look at that stuff, and whether it was my doing on the goal line on those 2 plays back to back, or one of the field goals he got a little pressure on off the edge. It wasn't great. Go back and no, but it's never one guy, absolutely not.
Well, 26-23 the final, a chance to finish the home schedule in style. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll preview that game against Sam Houston State. As we go to break, take a look at scores from last week in the Southland Conference. This is the Adam Dorrel Show.
Welcome back to the Adam Dorrel Show. Later on, we'll get the chance to hear from this year's Wildcat seniors, but first, let's hear from Max Preston about the rest of the sports going on at ACU.
Thanks, Hannah. The soccer team won its first game of the Southland Conference Tournament against McNeese last Wednesday in a game where no goals were scored and was decided in a 5-3 penalty kick battle. Freshman goalkeeper Aaron Smith made the lone save of the shootout, and junior defender Katie Acosta netted the winning penalty kick. However, on Friday, the team faced Stephen F. Austin in a semifinal and lost in another set of penalty kicks 4-2, bringing its season to a close. For her 2 shutout performances, Smith was named in the all-tournament team. She was the only player that didn't play in the championship match to be honored. Since these games went down as ties, The women finished their season at an 8-10-2 overall record. Well, basketball season is finally upon us as the women's basketball team began their season Friday at 5:30 against Southwest College in Moody Coliseum. This is the second straight season the two teams have met in the women's opener. This year, the Wildcats will be looking for their third straight regular season conference title and first ever Southland Tournament berth.
We are excited about the opportunity to get to qualify for the Southland Conference Tournament. We really have not spoken about that the past 4 years because it just was nothing that we could be involved in. So we didn't worry about things that didn't really pertain to us. But it's pretty exciting for us now to be able to talk about having the best season we can possibly have and jockeying for a good position, a good seeding in that conference tournament.
The men's basketball team followed the women with its first game of the season against Randall College at 7:30 on Friday night. The men also held their annual tip-off dinner Tuesday evening. Texas Tech head basketball coach Chris Beard was in attendance as the guest speaker. Beard was a graduate assistant for the Wildcats when current head coach Joe Golding played for ACU. Golding says his team is hungry to begin the season.
No, I think there's no doubt. And if it's not, I remind them all the time they were 7-11, in conference last year. And so that's actually the code to get in our locker room, So I think it's a daily reminder of those guys that the future's bright. I think this team, there's a lot of potential. And I think it's going to be an incredible year for ACU basketball, but we haven't done anything yet, And so I think that you got to continue to remind those guys of that.
The volleyball team is on the verge of making history, needing just one win to clinch the first ever Southland Conference Tournament berth. The Wildcats defeated Lamar last Saturday in 4 sets and have won 5 of the last 7 matches dating back to October 19th against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. ACU has 2 games left on its regular season schedule in Incarnate Word and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, both rematches from wins earlier in the year. The Wildcats traveled to San Antonio Thursday to take on the Cardinals and Corpus Christi to face the Islanders this afternoon. A win in either of those matchups will earn the women a tournament spot next weekend. That's all for this week. For more stories and breaking news, visit acuoptimist.com. Back to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Max. The football team is honoring 16 seniors today at the start of the game. Among these seniors are team captains Sam Denmark, Cade Munton, Trevor Crane, Dylan Douglas, Carl Whitley, DeAndre Brown, and Royce Moore. Among the 16 are also 5-year veterans Nick Grau, Austin Heisler, and Chance Rieken. I got the chance to hear about these players' favorite moments, what they've learned in their time at ACU, and what this university means to them.
I remember being a freshman on bus rides and just sitting around the table and listening to all the older guys tell stories. And now I am the older guy. I hope that I can be that kind of an influence to the younger guys now.
My favorite memory would be beating UCA my sophomore year.
My best memory at ACU would be my sophomore year beating SFA in the fourth quarter in the final seconds.
My favorite memory at ACU would probably be stepping onto the football field for the first time as a collegiate athlete and fulfilling a goal of mine that I set when I was younger.
My best moment at ACU would have to be beating Troy on the road, which is an FBS opponent, in 2014.
My favorite memory is scoring on the opening night of the brand new stadium, being able to enjoy all the fans, do the catwalk, and just enjoy everything that was new about this.
My best memory would be last year, homecoming versus Incarnate Word. I scored 2 touchdowns in that game, and it was a victory.
I've learned that not everything goes as planned, and that the best way to do things is just try to do things God's way because He has the best plan for us.
What I learned at ACU was time management and building friendships.
I've learned at ACU is how to overcome adversity, especially with my injury my junior year, and then going game by game.
Learned a lot of self-patience as well as hard work. ACU has taught me a lot of different things that I never would know about myself until I came here.
ACU, I've learned patience and self-discipline.
I've learned at ACU you must have patience and you can't rush what's meant to be.
Everything is not going to go as planned, but things will work out eventually at the end. Just keep faith.
This program has really allowed me to grow as a man, as a person, and leave my legacy. And I really hope that I can leave that kind of environment for guys to come.
This program means a lot to me. I've gained a lot of good friends. I've met a lot of good people, and it's helped me have some of the best experiences of my life.
I think the biggest thing that I can take from the program is my friendships that I'll carry on. I know that some of the memories I've made with my friends and teammates here that will last a lifetime, I'm excited to see where they continue on after football as well.
This program has taught me a lot about the type of culture that's here at ACU and how people really care about you, and it's just a unique setting that you won't find in any other university.
The program means a lot to me, just watching myself grow, and then being older and watching these younger guys grow up. Hopefully that they can learn a lot of things that I was able to learn.
This program has been a lot. It's been a good 4.5 years, and I hope that the younger guys can keep building the process and keep it going.
The program means a lot to me just because you're able to meet new guys, build new family, and you're able to just reach out. I know guys that I'm probably going to be in a wedding or be able just to do new things with outside of football, so that's it.
This program means a lot to me. I've met some friends that I'm still friends with that I met on day one, and I think that even though I'm a senior, it's not going to end after this. We're going to be friends for a lifetime.
That's all from our seniors. Be sure to make it to the game on time to watch them be honored today. We'll be back with more on the Adam Dorrel Show.
As we welcome you back to the Adam Dorrel Show, take a look at the standings in the Southland Conference. There is Central Arkansas at 7-0 leading the league, and two teams who can still catch them, the Nichols Colonels, and then the team that ACU plays today, the defending Southland Conference champions, the Sam Houston State Bearcats. The home finale as the defending champs come in, Coach, and when you start talking about Sam, you have to talk about the reigning player of the year in FCS, the quarterback Jeremiah Briscoe. He might win it again this year. He's #1 in the nation in touchdowns with 27, second in yards per game. From an opposing coach's perspective, why is he so good?
I think he has great pocket presence. He's hard to rattle. He makes some throws that you almost go, you go a year and you almost coach your kids up, hey, don't worry about defending that throw.
Nobody can make it, right?
And then you get a dude that shows up that can make that throw. Wow. And great at reading coverage pre-snap. He's very alert. It's literally, he's like a coach before the snap of the ball. And then obviously he's got a lot of good pieces around him. But I've been really impressed with watching all the games of him, just his demeanor.
Should be a great test. Most important thing today is what?
Turnovers, play to win. That's the big thing. It's to try to come out and to be very hard-nosed, very physical early, fire everything that we have in our gun at those guys early and try to be just super aggressive, and then just, that's why I try to get our guys to understand. I mean, we don't have anything to lose, and so just take that approach.
Kickoff is at 2 p.m. We'll have the pregame show on radio at 1:30. For Hannah Knoll and for Coach Dorrel, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game this afternoon at Wildcat Stadium. We'll see you right here next week on the Adam Dorrel Show.